All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, today you just have me. Today I'm going to go over half year stuff is what I would call it. We're halfway through the year. Look, it's June 30th. Okay, last day in June. Okay, tomorrow is July. Tomorrow is the beginning of the second half of the year. So we are through 2 quarters as of today, and then we start into the second half of the year. Now, if you're on track for your goal, that's probably exciting. If you're not on track for your goal, it's probably not. Okay, so the key is, right, this time of year, I always recommend that you guys take a look at where you are. Okay, if you're a little behind, don't get depressed. If you're right on or ahead, congratulations. Okay, but it's that time of year where you got to take a look at yourself and say, okay, how am I doing? At the beginning of the year, I set a goal. All right, I was going to do X amount of transactions and make X amount of money. Okay, how are you doing towards your goal? I mean, that's the ultimate measuring stick, is how are you doing towards your goal? Are you 50% of the way there? Are you 30%? Are you 80%? Whatever you are. So you want to take a hard look and say, okay, this is where I am. If you're ahead, congratulations. If you're behind, don't beat yourself up. Just say to yourself, okay, I said I was going to do these things. Am I doing them? If you're doing some of them, congratulations, keep doing them. If you're not, it's time to implement them. I mean, the other way to look at it is you still have half the year ahead of you, right? I mean, the old, is the glass half empty or half full? So, it's always better to look at it as half full. Now you just got to fill up the other half, right? And keep rolling. All right, so that's the key right there. There's only a few of us on today, so feel free to ask questions. I didn't mute everybody, so make sure your phone is muted. I'd love to see you guys ask questions. Let me go through some points here, and then feel free, jump in, ask questions, make statements, whatever you're comfortable doing. Okay, so halfway through the year, how are you doing? Take a look at it, decide what adjustments you need to make. It's like a football game, right? You always see. If you watch football, you see it's amazing sometimes how a team is behind, goes in for the halftime, comes back out, and it's almost like they switched uniforms. All of a sudden, the other team's way better. You make adjustments. That's what it's all about. You make adjustments. So here's my 5 points for today, all right? Number 1, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, start every day from zero. You got to start every day from zero. I mean, I don't have any business today. I haven't generated anything. All your activities are critical. Like, are you doing the activities consistent with doing business? It's the same with your health. It's the same with your finances. It's everything. As I like to say, I put my life into 5 categories. Okay, number 1 is my business. I call it business money. Business money. Number 2 is my family and relationships. Number 3 is my health. Number 4 is my spirituality, and number 5 is my mindset. Those are my 5 areas. You can have 6 or 7 if you want. I have 5. I like to keep it simple. Thrive with the big 5. And, you should have a little goal for each one of those. 1 or 2 sentence goal for each one of those categories until you achieve it, and then change it. All right, so start every day from zero. Like if I'm in the real estate business, how many people have you talked to about doing new business this day? The answer is none. Well, you got a job ahead of you. All right. If you haven't worked out yet, or if you're not eating right, or if you're, all the things that you should be doing, it's so much easier just to do them, folks. I figured this out through trial and error myself. When so you're on a coaching call today. You're on a podcast. You're on, about doing more business. That means you want to. Now that you're in that mindset, it is much easier on yourself just to do the things that you're supposed to be doing than it is to beat yourself up for not doing them. That's time consuming. It's energy draining. All right. So, as some of you have probably noticed, open houses have definitely picked up over the last couple of weekends. I was just talking to an agent right before this call. 10 parties came through. All right. So everybody's used to the fact that there's 3 numbers in the temperature, unless you're in California, but it's still warm there too, right? Summer has started, vacations have started, but the people looking are back out. Okay. Yeah, I know an interest rate adjustment is going to make it better. Get over that. It's going to happen. It's coming. Okay. But we don't know when. So you can't plan on that. All you can plan on is what you do. The market conditions will get better. The playing field will get better. But right now, it's still not bad. So start every day from zero. Number two, remember that your database, your CRM, your sphere of influence is your gold mine. You want to be adding to it every day. You also want to be keeping the people you have in it. How do you do that? By staying in touch with them consistently. Have a system. I know mine was very simple. Learned it at my days with Mike Ferry once a quarter, check in with everybody. I like the phone because I think when you're good over the phone, and the phone is better than texting, and the phone is better than social media, all those two are very good, right? So, and I know people even do little video messages today. I personally think that you having a conversation with me does something totally different than your brain, to your brain, than any other form of communication. Unless it's face-to-face, which is the best. If you do Popeyes, that's even better, more time-consuming. But once you know somebody, a quick check-in phone call is great. Now, that being said, everybody you know, the question I always ask people is everybody in your phone currently in your CRM? And at Berkshire Hathaway, we call it a VAC. If they're not, that's the first thing you should do. I don't understand that myself. I call it using all the senses, right? You have digital marketing. Use it. You have your voice. Talk to people. You have social media, and it should be videos. You have all these tools. Everybody in your phone should be in the database. Everybody in your database you should be connected with on social media, and you should be talking to them. That is not complicated. Now, I can guarantee you if there's 20 people on this call, only 2 of you are doing that, maybe 3. That's really not, you're doing yourself a disservice. All right. You want to get residual income in this business? Do that. You want to do good no matter what the market's doing? Do that. I have people in my coaching schedule right now that are having their best year ever because they have cumulative effect of doing what we're talking about. All right. So that's 2 on my list. So start every day from zero. Every day is a new opportunity. All right. Your database is your gold mine, your CRM, your sphere of influence, all of that put together. Even I would say even your farm should be in there too. You just start treating your farm like your sphere. They really have the same program. All right. And then the third one is outwork your competition. This is the perfect time to do it because they're all crying. Open houses aren't what they used to be. Great. I would never have another one. Right? That's what I would tell my competition. You know what? It's a waste of time. You're absolutely right. And then keep doing them yourself. I have agents I coach, like I said, that are very busy at open houses. Plus, at an open house, if no one's there, you can make phone calls. Right? You can do social media videos. You do all kinds of things. Okay, when people tell me I'm not busy, I'm going to go, how is that possible? I'm not busy. It doesn't even make sense to me. Okay, so you should be busy all the time. It's not complicated. Okay, so get busy. All right? All right, so the next thing on my list is outwork your competition. The next one is semi-stalker lead follow-up. Okay, that means everybody in your system, you need to be semi-stalker about your lead follow-up. Semi-stalker about your lead follow-up. All right. Any questions so far, by the way, folks? Any questions by anybody? Don't be shy. Questions? Nobody?
No questions.
Okay. Because I think this is important. This is, this is your business. We're halfway through the year. You must be having trials and tribulations. Nobody has a question. Any questions? All right, I'll keep going. No problemo. I have other stuff to talk about. All right, so we covered the start from every day from zero. We covered your database is your gold mine. Outwork your competition. The fourth one is semi-stalker lead follow-up. That means everybody in your, and people laugh when I say that, but I actually mean it. We think, these people are going to get sick of us. If they're thinking about doing something, it's better to slightly overdo it than to underdo it and have them use somebody else. You got to use your feel. But a lot of times if they're not calling you back, you continuing to call them just shows them your commitment. That you're a disciplined, you're a professional person that's going to keep following up, especially if they're listings. I'm going to tell you something too. A lot of the things I've been hearing the last few weeks, even maybe a month is, wow, I'm sick of listings. I want to get buyers. Okay, that's not a very good business decision. You should always be working with buyers. You should always sell buyers. Today, they're way more legit because you have to have them sign a buyer broker agreement. So it forces you to be more professional, which I love. Right? Well, I don't like the buyer broker agreement. Okay, nobody cares because you have to get it now. I think it's always been better to use it. It's really just another closing technique. Okay, I need you to sign this form. Whoa. We're not sure we're going to buy right away. Oh, well, it's nice to know up front, isn't it? They're never going to tell you this. I want to look at everything possibly out there, then take another 6 months to decide because I think the interest rates are coming down or my favorite one is, we're going to go through a little real estate recession and the prices are going to come way down. All right, I don't want to work with that person right now. I got way better things I could do with my life. And even if you think, well, only 1 in 3 listings sell, great. Take 6 and you have 2 sell. Take 9, you have 3 sales. Right? I mean, it's the most predictable part of your business. Secondly, I don't believe that. You can sell every listing you take if you price it right now. It's definitely something that you could do. Okay, and then the 5th one on my list is become an expert in listing property. There it is. Always work with buyers, the ones that are going to do something right now. But you should always, there's never a time where buyers are better than listings. Listings are always the name of the game. Listing makes you the employer, not the employee, right? Because when you have listings, people show your listings and you're in charge. It's nice to be in charge. All right. It's also nice to have. I mean, when's the last time you heard of people having 5, 10 active listings? I know when I was selling, when I went into coaching full time, I wanted 20 active listings at all times and 10 pendings. That was my team goal. I called it double digits, double digits, okay, on the listings and double digits. I always wanted to have 10 pending and I always wanted to have 20 active listings. That's because the average days on market was 90 days back then. People go, 90 days? If you've been in the business 5 or 6 years, you don't even know what that means. It's starting to get there. I don't think it'll last long because a rate adjustment is going to turn this market around. And then the Fed's probably going to do a couple of them. They're always behind. They're always slow. They're not a real business. Remember, they're the government. They're the best government in the world. But if they really ran it like a business, it would run way smoother. Right? But they're not. They're politicians. Okay? So some of them have never had a real job, which should concern every one of you. All right? Because it's totally different running a business than it is running a government. Totally different. And they took some of that urgency and effectiveness and efficiency into the government. We wouldn't have a $36 trillion deficit. But we do, and we're going to pay it off because we have to. All right, so there we go. Start every day at 0. Every day is a new opportunity. Think big, all right? Your data is your gold mine. Your database is your gold mine, your CRM, your SOI, whatever you want to call it. All right, outwork your competition, meaning in activities. Guys, look at even if you're not making as many listings and sales as you want to right now, you can be packing a pipeline for when the market does get a little better. Always treat your lead follow-up like semi-stalker lead follow-up. Means you call them more than even makes you comfortable. All right, and then become an expert on listing property, meaning you know what to say. You know how to present. You know why that's important. Okay, you also know your market stats. What's the active amount of listings on the market right now? What's the average days on market? What's the numbers in your area? What's your average list to sale price? What's your average days on market? You can figure those all out, and compare it to the market average. And that's a great point on a listing presentation as well. Okay.
Rick,
all right, so there you go. There's my presentation. Any questions for me today, folks?
Yeah, Rick, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Where do you get your market stats? Is it just the MLS?
Yes. Yeah, just the MLS.
Yeah, but so for the last several. April Malave has been calling and asking about a shipment that she sent out, which I have no idea about any of this before. Like, Debbie didn't tell me anything about this.
Okay.
She said that she sent out a shipment in April, and it hasn't.
Okay, are you still talking to us, Elda? I'm sorry.
No, that's not me.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No.
Someone's talking. Someone's talking. Sorry, somebody has your phone needs to be on mute because this is why I usually mute. Oh, sorry, Elda. I thought that was you still talking. Yeah, I get my list.
She said she sent
Hello?
out people. This is for May.
Okay, hold on a second, folks. Let me solve this problem.
She's getting.
This is why I always mute it. Somebody always ends up doing that. So I've just muted you all. So that's why the person's gone. So if you want to ask me a question, you got to hit *6 to unmute yourself. *6, unmute yourself. But yes, Elda, I believe that was you that asked the question. The MLS is, and here's the ones that I like. Number one is active inventory. How many homes are currently on the market right now? Right. Second one is how many homes are currently going under contract and closing per month. Now you divide those two, and it gives you how many months of inventory we have. Now, why is that important? Well, depending on who you talk to, I'm going to give you my numbers. Okay, 3 to 5 months. Anything below 3 to 5. Okay, anything below 3 months of inventory, 3-4 months of inventory is a seller's market. Anything between 4 and 6 months is a neutral market, and definitely over 6 months is a buyer's market. So if we have, 7,000 homes on the market and we sell 2,000, well, that's right there is 3.5 months. So that's still technically a seller's market, but it's inching towards, the neutral market. And right now, I would say in Las Vegas, it's neutral. And some people think it's a buyer's market because I would call that more people competing for the buyers that are out there. Okay, that's why you got to tell your sellers today, if you're going to accept an offer today, okay, you're going to have to be a little bit more flexible, fix more stuff, give them a few concessions, or just wait a year, even 6 months maybe. As the interest rates come down, there's so many people on the sidelines waiting that it'll create a feeding frenzy in no time. So even yourself, I've coached agents that own property that put them on the market right now. I'm like, if you can rent it for another year, I would do that. Right? But the people that have to sell now, well, they got to sell now. So you got to coach them. You got to set expectations. Then I also want to know for myself what my days on market are versus the, my days on market as an individual agent versus the MLS. What's my average list to sale price versus MLS or the commission cutters and so forth that I may be up against? So I can relay why using me and paying me my fee makes sense to them. That's what I always use on listing presentations. If commission comes up, which it only does about, and I know you think it comes up, if you're not prospecting and going on a lot of appointments, then you automatically think, well, commission comes up all the time. It doesn't. It really doesn't. When you're dealing with motivated people, they understand it costs something, whether it's listings or buyers. And, you can do whatever your fee is. Okay, so great question, though. Any other questions for me today, folks? Questions about anything going on as we hit the half-year point? I mean, we couldn't get any more than half year than the last day of June. Tomorrow is the third quarter. Can you imagine that? Tomorrow is the third quarter of 2025, the year that you're going to thrive. Thrive in 2025. Yes, that was my saying at the beginning of the year, and I still say it because I have a lot of agents thriving. I have some doing okay, and I have some saying, what the hell happened to the market? If you don't have a pipeline, don't take this personally. If you don't have a pipeline, you say, what the hell happened to the market? If you're living off the market conditions, then that's when we have a problem, when it starts to go. Now, the great agents go, I love it when it's like this because it thins out my competition, and I'm going to work and manufacture my own sales anyway. Well, Las Vegas. Well, at one point we were having 3,000 to 3,500 closings. Now we're only having like 22, 23. Okay, so we're still having 70% or at least 2/3 of what we used to have. Is there enough in there for you to close 1, 2, 5, 6 deals a month? Yes. That's how you have to look at it. There's still plenty of room. Don't get caught up in what the media talks about and the people who have no idea what they're doing talk about. There's plenty of room in what's currently going on for you to manufacture your own business. If you're positive, doing the right stuff, and filling your pipeline. If you're explaining to people why the market's terrible and, oh my God, then you're not going to do the deals. You're just going to be like a normal agent. You don't want to be a normal agent. All right, last chance. Any questions for me today, folks? All right, so remember, start every day from zero. Treat that database like a gold mine because it is. Outwork your competition. Semi-stalker lead follow-up. Become an expert on listing property, and that starts from numbers. That starts presentation, your ability to close, why should they use you, all that good stuff. You guys have a great week. Happy July 4th, everybody. If you need me, call me anytime. I always have a little room in my coaching. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Rick.